Hi, I'm Dr. A.B. Mendelsohn. Gender-affirming surgery is so much more than just a medical procedure. It's a result of personal journey, resilience, and transformation. We would like to learn directly from gender-diverse individuals as they share their experiences, challenges, and hopes. As such, we present their voices. Okay, episode 2 of Their Voices. Today we're going to sit down with Samantha Kunkel, our amazing Director of Specialty Surgical Services. All right, well, let's get going. Samantha Kunkel, welcome to Their Voices.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness, thank you for joining us.
I feel like it's my Vogue 70 questions.
It may seem like that,
Okay.
but I think we have a lot of important topics to talk about.
Sure.
Okay, so let's just jump right in, okay?
Let's do that.
You ready? Mm-hmm. So, as the Director of Surgical Services, you seem to have a particular affinity towards our gender-affirming surgical services.
Absolutely.
Why?
If I really had to think about it, I think I was put on this planet with a heart to care for people.
Yes.
I have a natural want to support and see people through their journeys, and I don't know where that actually comes from, but that's the role I was given.
I mean, this whole process is for us to help and support people with their identities, and this is your identity. There's no question about that.
Right.
And I think that it really does shine through in just everything that you do. So that's pretty cool. Well, thank you. How did your background ultimately lead you to where you are, though?
I didn't actually have a background in healthcare.
Right.
I think I'd done everything that I could possibly do. I did front office, I've done back office, I've done authorizations, I've scheduled appointments, I've verified insurance, and then I met you. And they paired us together.
That was a long time ago.
I just remember the first time I ever scheduled a surgery for you.
Right.
I was like, give me a second, let me get acclimated. And you were like, nope, get in there.
Right.
We're not playing games. And I went in there, I did what I had to do. And I came out and you were like, was that hard? I said, nope. And it was off to the races.
There's a lot of technical know-how. There's
Right.
a lot of terms. There's a lot of everything. But when
Right.
it comes down to it, that's the extra.
I mean, yes, but
You need it. I'm not going to say it's not important.
right.
But it's not the core. The
No.
core is what you were saying before, which is being there and helping and caring.
Right.
And the rest of it is all just
Right.
the setting in which you hone that craft.
Sure. I think there's a lot also like it for me, my personal life plays a lot into what I do for you, what I do for our team. When I started scheduling surgeries, just in not in a directorial position, just as your coordinator, helping people get across the line of whether it was cancer, whether it was a septoplasty. And then when we started gender affirming, my dad actually got sick. So that kind of pushed me into a position where I've been the family in the room. I know what it's like to have these uncomfortable conversations. I know what it's like to have your heart broken, to hopefully see an outcome that's going to be brighter, but it's not. But the hand-holding really came across when I met with a coordinator that was helping my dad. And then I came back to work and we got busy with our surgeries and it helped me be in a better position. So my personal life actually pushed me, not my professional life, to want to be a better coordinator, a better director.
I'm going to take a second because that was amazing. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in, especially because of how large of a figure your father is, continues to be, even though we miss him.
Right. Dearly.
Yeah. But it's just ongoing. And that care it continues on.
I mean, now I'm a mom too, so it's being a mom, it's being a sister, it's being a daughter, it's being a friend. So I just try to envision any one of the people in my lives needing me to carry a torch for them, and I do it at work.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy you do.
Thanks.
What is particularly maybe the most enjoyable aspect of the work that you get to do?
Our patients.
Yeah.
Our patients definitely make this fun. I mean, it's definitely has its times where we're up and we're down, and it's difficult when we don't get an approval or we have to have a harder conversation about how this is going to go from an authorization standpoint. But it's the stories that are just, you've changed my life. you've helped me do so much. Like, I realize he did all the mechanical work, but like you were here to listen to me cry and to panic with me and to walk me through this. And now I have a better understanding. And so those are the ones that stick out for me, that make me feel like I've done a good job.
Yeah. Surprisingly, actually, those stick out for me too, because that's the care that
Right.
really is impactful.
Right.
Yes, I get to be in the operating room,
Right.
but that's really what matters.
I love the stories when you used to round
Yeah.
and like the patients would be like, yeah, thanks for the surgery, but let's talk about Sam.
It would happen
Those are
in
my favorite.
pre-op. Like I would try to be consenting a patient for surgery. And they're like, I don't care about the risks. I want to talk about Sam. I'm like, no, we have to. They're like, nope, we're not talking about it. And it did. It carries through both pre, during, and then after. And yeah, it's hard to explain what that really means and feels like, but it's pretty awesome.
It registers very, like, it just through your body, in your heart. Like,
Yeah.
you've changed somebody's life. You've saved somebody's life. Like, we save lives.
100%.
And it might be a small move on the scale, but it's a win nonetheless. And I know I can go home and sleep well knowing I helped this person take that extra step through their life.
Right. And when we think about really our gender-affirming services, a lot of times people will ask me, why are you doing this stuff? And I, without a hesitation, I'm saving lives.
Yeah.
We are saving lives.
For sure.
There's no question about it. And it's really exciting. But when we compare, shall we say, overall our patient groups that are coming in for gender-affirming care as opposed to any of the other non-gender related treatments that we need to provide, the emotional complexities may be a little bit more challenging with our gender diverse population.
Yes.
What are some of your strategies to manage I would say, some really strong emotional,
Big personalities.
yeah,
I honestly approach each one of our patients like they're our first patient.
right,
I'm just as nervous as you are. As you are coming in this with a lot of anxiety, I am approaching it with a lot of anxiety. I want to make sure that I meet your expectations. I support you in the best way. I support my team in the best way. So I approach every single one of them like it's our very first time 7 odd years ago.
yes, yes,
And it was the first time we were like, oh, a tracheal shave. How are we going to do this?
Right,
and
right.
I'm over there building a Bible of insurance information. Like, how do we do these things? And now it's like second nature, but I approach all of them like they're our very first ones.
That's awesome. Great advice. Hopefully, there's some coordinators out there
Everyone
paying
listening?
attention.
Anyone
Exactly.
listening? Everyone listening.
When sometimes we are in the office together and I hear you're dealing with some of the more frustrating aspects of this work, what's maybe something that you would like the patients to know from your perspective?
Just as we are learning and approaching each one of our cases and patients with an immense amount of sensitivity and kindness, we're here to fight that fight with you.
Right.
We're not here to fight against you.
Yes.
We're willing to take up arms and stand shoulder to shoulder until we get you to the place that you want to be. So even coming in, I know that it's always difficult for our gender-affirming patients. They've been mismanaged. They've had really uncomfortable conversations with doctors that don't believe in their diagnosis. So by the time they get to us, they're wound up.
Yeah.
And it's a defensive place to be. But know that we are here to provide you everything that you need. You're safe with us. You're safe with our team. We see you for all that you are. So as much as we are approaching with kindness, approach us with kindness.
Yes.
We need some grace as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Just a little.
Our tanks can run empty sometimes.
We normally run on empty, but we always put a little extra in there to get us through the day. And I mean, somehow we do it and make it through the next one. But if everyone could just approach it the way that we do.
You were talking about how we've heard some pretty wild experiences that some of our gender diverse patients have had to endure without excuse, and there's just no explaining those experiences. I would say for me, and wanted to know about, for me, it's always surprising when I hear those experiences have come from other medical professionals who were attempting to provide gender affirming care.
Yeah.
You know,
It breaks my heart because we have the privilege of working with such a great team. Like you've taken the time to put together awesome people that have a very like vision. You and I have been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then we added Jesse, and then we added Joy, and then we added Katie. And it was very, I don't want to say selective, but it was like we all had to kind of bond as a family and move as a unit and have the same vision for our patients. So it breaks my heart that there are doctors there and providers and hospitals that aren't doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, it's I think there still needs a lot of education within the medical field, and again, more critically within the gender affirming medical field.
That's
still
fair.
needs a lot of
A lot.
a lot. So
A lot.
we get it. We get it. But
We're inching along.
We're here for you.
We're inching along.
By the time patients get to call you, they have already navigated so much that is necessary regarding who to go see and how to get the insurance. But like, if you could have reached them a month or 6 months before, what's some advice you might want to give to a patient trying to figure out this process?
Understand your insurance policies.
Yes.
It's a huge thing for us. Like and again, we're willing to do the heavy lifting and get into it, but do your homework, know what you're signing up for, know what benefits you have before we even attempt. If you know that we're going to have to go through hoops and hurdles to get you an authorization, just know what's in there. It's always helpful for us to know ahead of time. Like if I ask you, do you have gender affirming benefits written in your policy? 9 times out of 10, the answer is like, I don't know.
Right.
I just signed up for it at work. And that's what we all do.
Sure.
But if you know you're going into needing a policy for very specific services, know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Know what you're signing up for.
Absolutely. Because sometimes then you're held responsible for the policies.
Because we can't get it done. And it's not that we can't get it done. It's just that there are roadblocks for us as well. Mm-hmm. We've gotten really good at maneuvering those roadblocks and knowing how we can kind of throw an audible and get it done. But sometimes it's just a hard no, and we have to have another conversation. It's never going to be a hard no for us. We're going to find a way, and we're going to get them to surgery. But it's always a hard conversation where I'm like, your insurance. So great.
So is that really just getting the PDF file of their policy and trying to read that?
Yeah. Calling member services and getting the benefits coordinator, like someone on the line to run through what you're actually is in your plan. Yeah. Know what you signed up for.
Yeah. You spend a few minutes on the 800 number and
critical.
Talk to someone.
Even you can download your policy.
Yeah.
No one wants to read 130 pages, but
maybe AI could
Google search a gender affirming policy and see what happens.
Right.
You'll find
100%.
it.
Do a little homework, and it makes the cooperative efforts a lot easier.
While most gender affirming surgeries are medically necessary, a lot of policies will write in specifically, this is what we do cover, and this is covered. This is considered cosmetic for us. Right. And most of our surgeries align in, this is what's covered. It's helpful to know.
Yeah. When you're faced with someone who, let's just say, does not have a clear path to the care that they absolutely need and deserve, how are we able to come up with those creative solutions? I mean, that's a tough one. Right?
Well, we've been doing this for so long.
Right.
You have amazing colleagues that we are able to pitch to if we know that our patient is coming to us for a glottoplasty or vocal feminization. But then we have off conversations where it's like, yeah, I'm trying to find an FFS surgeon. We're like, we have the girl for you. Right. It's hard for me to find a vocal coach. Cool, we have resources. Right. And we've spent a lot of time putting those resources together, whether it's internally or sending them out to different programs. We've done a really good job as a team in building a directory of resources that go far beyond what we're able to do.
Yeah, how have you been able to do that nationwide? Because, in the LA area, there's a lot of options. But when we think about what you've done really across state boundaries.
It's a lot of Google searches.
That's a lot of homework.
It's a lot of Google searches. It's a lot of calling and just confirming. And then when you meet a patient, you honestly kind of know where their line is. Like, are you willing to pay for something if you have to go see them on a cash basis? Once you meet them and kind of feel them out in their situations, you know which resource to send them. But we just had a few of them that couldn't find vocal training in their state.
Right.
And we sent them some information via email after I had a conversation with them, and they got everything that they needed, the letter of support. They emailed it back to me, and they were like, I don't know how you did this, but here's your letter. And I was like, amazing. We'll do your surgery authorization today.
Right.
And we were off to the races. 14 days later, we're approved.
Changing lives. Just that
trying.
easy. Just that easy. Easy peasy.
It is easy peasy.
Okay, so on that topic, do you have a particular story where you've literally like all was lost and you get in there and you're like, how about no? And we can do something here. Do you have a particular individual that you can think of without naming names, obviously?
Because HIPAA. We respect it.
I don't want to go to jail. Not trying to go to jail.
We love HIPAA rules. We've had a few.
Yeah.
We've had a few really challenging ones that came to us and here's my insurance. And we were like, but actually you live in a state that's not a nationally recognized situation. Right. Where we did apply for authorization and it was, you're assigned to this Louisiana hospital. And it was like, what do we do now? The patient was really adamant. I don't want to do this in this state. I want to come to California and do it. We found ways to do patient financing, and they were able to finance the surgery and still have it done and come to California. Yeah. I have non-gender affirming patients that I carry with me that changed my entire trajectory in surgery that I still think about to this day, and some of them make me cry.
Yes. I will not bring up the last names. Both
but we
from
know who
HIPAA,
they are.
As well as because tears are not good for a camera.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
A lot of them, though, like even helping our gender-affirming patients, our cancer patients, you can't leave the situation not changed.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're changing voices, if we are aligning your body in the way that you see it. Like, it doesn't matter. If you have cancer, we've now gotten you to a place where you're like, you're going to be okay. Even if you're not, like, we're still here for you. It can't not change you or your life.
This is true.
Right.
Like, very true.
It's hard not to. You're part of someone's journey. You're part of their story for the rest of their life. Someone's going to ask them, like, how did you get to Dr. Mendelsohn? And they're going to be like, wow, just a couple of keystrokes and I got to their office. But wait, I talked to this person, whether it was me, whether it was our patient navigator, somebody set this off for them in a way that made them feel like they could stay here and be safe and be seen. And you're going to be in that story for the rest of their lives. Whoever they talk to about, like, how was your experience there? Someone's name in this team is going to be said repeatedly, and that's what matters.
Absolutely.
That's what matters.
It's pretty magical.
Yeah.
So how would you then measure our success as a team? Is it, getting through as many surgeries as possible? Like, how are we really successful here?
I don't think so. I don't think it's about the amount of surgeries we do. We do a ton of surgery all week long. If you're not looking like death warmed up.
I'm not asking. That was not a.
If you're not looking like a zombie by the end of the week, I didn't do my job.
Well, good news is I typically am. That's the good news. So how would you measure our success? Because I try to think about that a lot. Also, it's a moving target.
I measure our success as we grow as a team and a family.
Right.
When our visions align, when we are on the same page, where I don't have to remind Jesse, like, hey, Jess, take this. No, I got it. I printed them out already. I already confirmed, like, Jesse and I have a really great system. Katie and I have a really great system. I measure our success by the way our team moves as a unit, the way that we all care indefinitely about our patients, the wee hours of the night that we get emails.
Oh, my God.
Some crazy, some not. But we respond at 10:52 p.m. and we're just like...
I know. I'm not always so happy about that.
I'm responding to a patient and I hit send and then this text message comes in and it's like, go to bed. And I'm like,
we have an early morning.
And then I see one go out 5 minutes later from his email address and I'm like, yeah, how about you go to bed?
Nope. Nope.
I measure our successes as we grow as a team and that the more ground we're able to cover, the more patients we're able to reach. That's how I measure our success.
I love that. Well, I hope we continue to be successful. All right, so let's then try to wrap this up.
Yep.
With one wonderful message to our gender diverse community, both in LA and throughout.
Nationwide. We're here for everyone. We want to make sure that everyone lives the life that they want to live, and whatever we can do to move that mark for you, we're here to do that. And arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder. We're going to pick up the torch for you. We're going to do the heavy lifting. We're going to make sure that you get everything that you need and feel supported at the same time. Like, but we're here to support. We're here to be kind. We're here to lead with empathy and compassion. Our staff is doing the same things. It takes a village, not only to raise kids, but to like get our patients where they want to be.
Yeah.
But that's my message. We do everything that we do with a large amount of love. Everyone on this team has a huge, huge heart. Yes. That's pretty much it.
Love it. Samantha Kunkel, thank you.
My Vogue interview is
Yay.
over.
You did it.
Fantastic.